On today's episode of the Verani Vault, we're going to dive into something that can help an agent transform their business while also giving back to the community, which is a wonderful thing. So the idea behind today's conversation is simple. When you give back to the community and your clients, it comes back to you.
It does.
Well, today we have MaryLou with us, MaryLou Buckley.
Hello.
And she's the manager of our Salem office, Salem region in Hampstead,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So, MaryLou, before we get started, I know this is really kind of geared towards community service, and giving back and an approach to an agent's business. But let's dive into a little bit about who you are, how you got into the business, why you got into the business. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I've been doing real estate for 30 years.
Wow.
I was in corporate America before that.
Right.
And when my daughter was born, I decided...
So wait, what did you do in corporate America?
I was a product marketing manager.
Wow.
And I did that for probably 10 or 15 years. It was a great job. But I wanted more freedom, and I wanted to have my own business, so to speak, when my daughter was born. So I got into real estate, and like I said, I've been doing it for about 30 years.
So did it give you more freedom? Or does it take up
Well,
more of your time? Which one is it, honestly?
Well, now I would say it takes up more of my time. But in the beginning, it didn't. You could control your time a little bit easier when you first start. But it definitely takes up more of your time now.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. You may have a little bit more flexibility, but if you're going to be good at real estate, you got to dedicate yourself to it.
You need to be ready, yes.
Right. So when you transitioned from corporate America into real estate, you needed to what?
I needed to network with the people that I knew. That's really what I needed to do, because...
And that's how you started generating your business?
That's how, I would say most of my transactions my first year were from people that I knew from corporate America. And I stayed in touch with those people and, reached out to them and let them know how I was doing and things like that. So I really needed to communicate and stay in touch with them. And then after that, it became more marketing to them and things like that. So.
Okay. So I've known you for a while, and I know one of the things that you really enjoy doing, or one aspect of you, is getting involved in community service, giving back to the community. Mm-hmm. And not that your approach was ever, hey, I'll give back to the community as a way of generating business, but you're particularly good at it. So how did you get started in just getting involved?
So I would say in the early years, I'm an equestrian, and I joined one of the equestrian associations as a volunteer. It had nothing to do with real estate. I just loved it. I'd get up and speak, and I got to know a very large group of people in the equestrian world, and that was one way that I would say that got involved with the community. And then years after that, which we haven't really talked about, is I volunteered on the Granite State South Board of Realtor. I was a director. I was on the grievance committee and things like that, and that was a good way to get to know our realtors locally and things like that. So
we were, you're saying you first started out kind of like pursuing a hobby of yours, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's important to unpack that a little bit, where we, when we think of, I guess this whole episode is about how an agent gets started or how they get involved in the community and give back to the community, and as a result, meet people, because you need to meet people mm-hmm. to start generating business. But, it's just not your traditional like community involvement, right? Or community service.
Right.
There's aspects of this. Like you were saying that you pursued a passion of yours.
I did.
So you were doing something fun, and you got to meet a whole new segment of people.
I did.
Right? Yeah. And that was something that you saw as a launching pad to increase your, what we call in the industry, your sphere of influence, right?
Well, it did increase my sphere. I wasn't looking to increase my sphere, but it did.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those people then and still to this day reach out to me because they feel that I know real estate and they feel that I'm an equestrian, I can relate to them.
They have a shared interest.
They have a shared interest. And
Right.
they feel like if they're going to list their equestrian property or they're looking for an equestrian property, I understand what they're looking for. It was by default, and it was great because it is a passion of mine, and it's a great way. And I recommend to anybody, do something, get involved in something you love,
Right.
because
You'll stick with it.
stick
right?
with it. And,
It no longer becomes a job, right?
right. And another example was when my daughter was young, she played soccer, and one of the coaches asked me to be an assistant coach.
Okay.
And so
You said, I don't know the first thing about soccer.
I don't know the first thing about soccer, but sure, I'll help.
But I can bring the water and the orange slices,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But it was great. It was fun. I got to meet all the parents. And so, I mean, that was a great source of being involved. And it was for my daughter, and it was fun. So it was a great way to meet people, too. So.
Yeah. Well, in my career, I've been in it since 1992. And when I first started out, I was a state rep. And that was a lot of work. But I got to meet some very important people. And I believe that I benefited the state when I was doing it. And I volunteered my time from that perspective. So yeah, there's this, you're volunteering your time, you're helping push forward an organization. They need people to do it. They need people to help. Without that, they'd be lost. And there's a way to increase your sphere of influence and get to know other people. As a new agent starting out in the business, where would they start looking to get involved?
Well, I tell the agents that start new in Salem and Hampstead, do you have a hobby? Do you have something you like to do?
Perfect.
Do you play hockey? Are you a gardener? Where do you know the most people that, maybe doing something that you love to do? Brian Morse in my office, he loves music. He knows musicians, and everybody has something that they feel passionate about. I think that's the first place that you should start.
When you're trying to help an agent with their business, and they're saying, one of the paths I want to pursue is just getting to know more people. Let's brainstorm a little bit. Whether you're a veteran agent or you're a new agent, give me some real life examples of what your agents have done and groups that or paths that they've pursued.
Well, I'll use Linda Jennings for an example. She teaches yoga in Hampstead, and she will sometimes put like a basket with socks and her business card, and because she wants her students to know that she's a real estate agent and associate that. I think it's creative. People always take the socks, and they know her, they trust her, and I think that's a great form of an example. Maybe getting involved in a PTA at school or something.
So if you have kids, get involved in a PTA. You mentioned that you got involved as a soccer coach one time.
Yeah.
I've got involved in when my kids were growing up as a hockey coach.
Yep. Even the agents who go to a gym, there's a lot of people who are taking great care of themselves. They go to the gym every morning. Great way to network with people at the gym and get to know people.
I mean, let's face it. If you are into golf or
Golfing's
softball,
a great place. Yep.
or you want to play pickup basketball, there's leagues to join there. These are all things like to open an agent's mind. It's like I've heard folks say that at the end of the day I'm tired, I don't want to go out, but you know what? Even you just gotta. You gotta get off the couch.
Exactly.
You gotta go do something. You gotta go meet people.
No, it's true. It's true. And
trust me, if you just put your Well, depending on the event, you're not going to go play basketball with your name badge on, but if you just get out and get involved.
You have a conversation.
Yeah.
Angie Gorham is a great example. She is a member of the Lions Club.
Okay.
And
There are like some traditional, like you always think about Lions Club or Rotary Club or Chamber of Commerce.
And she takes
right?
it one step further. She just started game night. She just had one this week. And
What's game night?
So she goes to the Stumble Inn. She comes up with all these games and prizes, and she has people dress up, and she runs the whole thing. She's like emceeing the whole thing, and she gets to meet so many different people because she's putting herself out there. So she's not shy. She has a great time.
No, she definitely isn't.
No, and people love it. They absolutely love it, and she's very good at it. Same thing with Make-A-Wish Foundation. She does a raffle at the Make-A-Wish Foundation event, and she's up there emceeing the whole thing. There's hundreds of people at this event. Don't know who she is, but they do when they leave.
Yeah.
So it's just putting yourself out there.
So that's one way, right?
Yeah.
Just follow a passion, follow a hobby, get involved from that level. One of the things I know that you do a lot of, and that is you participate in community events, right?
We do.
Yeah, like trunk or treats.
Yes.
Old Homes Day.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit.
So, we have some favorite ones. We love Trunk or Treat. Trunk or Treat's one of my favorites because they're playing the Halloween music and everybody's dancing and
You're
all
into
the
Halloween music?
Oh yeah, and all the families with their kids and stuff.
That's awesome.
We set up a nice table and give all sorts of fun things away for the kids. It's just a really fun event.
Yeah.
We love doing that. We get involved in the police national night out. That's a great event too. They're doing all sorts of demonstrations, and people are in a good mood. They're out with their families. It's just a great way to get out and meet people. And again, we're handing things out. We have a raffle, so we get to meet people and things like that. We get involved with the Santa Parade. It goes right by our office.
Yeah,
and,
you have a special hot chocolate.
We do hot chocolate. We get hot chocolate from a local company from Tuscan Village, and we get flavored whipped cream. And the people love it. They get peppermint or whatever. They all different flavored whipped creams, and we get little things to put on the cups that say Berkshire Hathaway Verani and Verani Cares. So it's just really fun. It's a great way to meet people. So those are just a few that we do.
So one of the things we do a lot as a company from Verani Cares and our regional offices organize events like you were saying about, like Santa parades and Main Street events and what have you. One of the things that there's certain agents that always show up.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's so true.
And there's certain agents that
never show up.
Yeah. So give me some benefits so we can inspire everybody to show up from our organization.
Well, I just feel that when you're out there participating in a community event, you're showing that community that you're not just out looking for real estate business. You're out there participating in an event they're in. You're willing to invest and give back to the community and things like that. And I am a firm believer what you put out there comes back to you. It really does. And I encourage them. We also typically have a raffle at the events we do. And I encourage the agents because we want to invite these people. We want to get to know them. We want to thank them for coming. And we want to invite them to other events like our cornhole event, like our, food drive that we do. So we like to gather their names and give a raffle out to them and, stay in touch with them. So I encourage the agents to participate in that.
When an agent is participating in these events, are they doing it like on a one-for-one basis? Like, should they be looking for business, or is it?
I think if they're doing it just to get business, they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
I feel that they should be.
I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah. I feel that they should want to give back to the community. They should want to meet people. That's the number one thing. You want to meet people, interact with them, and develop a relationship. I feel that things flow naturally when that happens.
Yeah. Now, you have a particular way when you do like an Old Homes Day or you do the Santa Parade, or you have some tools that you use, right?
I do.
To help, I guess, tools and approaches.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell me a little
So
about
the
that.
approach that we have is we have things to give to people.
Okay.
So we want them to come to us so that we can meet them and talk to them and have that communication. So we have different Verani things that we give out. We have little tchotchkes we give out to the people and whatnot to the kids. And then we usually have some sort of a really nice raffle. Last year we raffled off a pair of Patriots tickets. And we have a form that we use. It's actually a program called Cognito. And when they sign up to be in the raffle through a QR code, we are getting their names, address, phone number, and email, and they're entered into the raffle. At the end of the day, when it's all done, the next day, we pick a name, we announce the name, and then one of the agents gets to call the person who won and hand deliver, the prize to them. And we asked them in particular case when they went to the Patriots game if they'd send us a picture, and they did. They sent a picture of their family at the Patriots game at Gillette Stadium, and we shared that on social media because it was a great feeling that they won those tickets. So
you're doing something for all the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
But I think what you do is you take it to a next level, and you have sort of a system behind it as well, where you're doing it to participate in the community, to give back to the community. You're even further giving back to the community by having some form of entertainment or giveaway at your booth, as well as all the information you guys have there, because I'm sure a lot of people come up to you and go, hey, what's my home worth?
Right. Yeah.
How's it like living in this community? Boy, I grew up here, but I moved out, and I want to come back because XYZ event is awesome,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
feel the love, But you also want to kind of put a system behind it, right?
Right. And, when we collect those names, my advice to the agents is send a note to these people, thank them for coming, stopping by our booth. We let them know who won the raffle. And then when we have other events and things going on, we want to invite them to come back. We want them to keep coming back. That's part of creating relationships.
So one of the events that we do is the cornhole, and that benefits Operation Delta Dog.
Yes, that's a great
Which-
event. One
yeah.
of my favorites.
One of your favorites, right? It's held at Tuscan Village, and it's coming up
It is.
very soon,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And I know you and your daughter were very instrumental in putting this event together for Verani Cares, and a very you participate at a very high level at it. But you go B2B, business to business, and B2C on this
We do.
event to help benefit Operation Delta Dog.
We do.
Right? So break that down a little bit for me. Tell me your approach to it.
So we take the flyers that we have, for sponsors or, whether they want to do a raffle or whatever. And I pick the people who I know are going to want to participate. And we go over to Tuscan Village and we literally walk in with the flyers and tell them, this is the event we're having. I'm sure you've seen it. And any proceeds, benefits Operation Delta Dog. And even if they don't want to be a sponsor, so many people are willing to, to do a raffle. And we've certainly made some pretty decent money to give back to Operation Delta Dog from the raffles. And we go up and down Main Street. Linda Jennings goes into Hampstead to, some of the strip malls. And we're not afraid to ask people to participate. It's, asking people to get involved. And they love it too. They absolutely love it.
Let's dive into the cornhole event a little bit here, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to really promote this, firsthand opportunity to promote it. It's a Verani Cares event. It benefits Operation Delta Dog, and we just don't want agents just to show up to the
Right.
event. We want them to use this event to benefit Operation Delta Dogs and to get out there to who? Give me your
Well, so-
desire, your
well,
ask.
Well, so I will tell you what I promote in my office and what I personally do as well is reach out to your sphere of influence, the people you've done business with in the past, whether you call them, stop by their house and drop off a flyer, send them an email, send them a text.
Okay, stop there for a second.
Yep.
What do you reach out to them? Like, what's the purpose of you reaching out to them?
I'll call them and say, "Hi, it's MaryLou. I don't know. We've been having this operation, this cornhole tournament for the past. This is our third year, and it benefits Operation Delta Dog. I would love for you to participate. It's a great event. I'd love for you to come, and I'd love to know if you would be willing to be a sponsor or if you'd like to potentially donate a raffle." And I reach out to my past clients, my forever clients,
Yeah.
right? And I encourage the agents to do that too. And some of them are very fearful of doing that. They feel like they're asking for something. But so many times when you pick up that phone and speak to them, they are so happy to participate. They feel, especially because we are benefiting veterans who are given these dogs. And so many people just feel so good to participate in that. And it's a great way to reconnect with your clients.
It's a great way,
It really is.
and it's one touch point every year. But yeah, you can just invite them to spend a day at Tuscan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have like nice fire pits. If they're interested in cornhole, they could sign up a team.
Yeah.
They could participate that way. If they have an item to put into the raffle, that's great. If they own a business, they could sponsor a board, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've had several people. I could speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody. I had a client, he was a sponsor last year. He bought the boards. He participated. He played. I had another client donate a bunch of gift cards to restaurants to raffle off. People who signed up just to play. If nothing else, it's a great event. It's fun. And people are not going to hang up the phone on you.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, you know what? I've actually had some folks that I personally know that actually they formed a team. They wanted to play cornhole, but they wanted a board, and it didn't show up in the field of play, but they wanted to buy a board, which helps support Operation Delta Dog, just to have for their camp.
Right.
Because they are pretty boards. But so we reach out to our sphere of influence, but you guys walk the streets too and meet all the businesses in the area, right?
We do.
Yeah. And from an agent's perspective, that's great because you want to get to know all the business owners in the area. It's not from a perspective that you're a commercial agent. You want to help them find new space, but they own homes in the area, right? But you get, and they have customers,
Right.
That you can help, right? So you go business to business.
We go business to business, and I tell the agents, even your people that you work with on a daily basis in real estate, whether it's a home inspector, it could be a radon person, a water person, ask them. You'd be surprised.
Your lawn, the company that does your lawn, the company that cleans your pool, paints roofs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a transaction where I had a sale. I sold a condo over in Atkinson by Lewis Builders.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the manager and asked if Lewis Builders would want to participate, and they sponsored, and they didn't play. They just wanted the boards because they wanted the boards for their community center. So, but they let us use the boards for the tournament. So it just doesn't hurt to ask.
No, it doesn't. And, these are folks that are happy to see you.
Yes.
They want to know you because you do business in their community. They want your business as well as you want theirs.
Yes.
Right? And many times you give them business as well.
Exactly.
So it's a It's a win-win situation, and that's something that we'd like every agent to do for all of our different Verani Cares events, and especially the cornhole tournament coming up, to get out there and talk to the businesses that they know and ask them to sponsor a board.
Exactly.
So out of all the community events you've done, or maybe there's a few that come to mind, are any particular ones stand out to you?
Well, I would say there's two.
Yeah.
One was very memorable. We did Wyndham Harvest Fest, and
Yeah.
we rented a train. It was like a little blue train.
Tell me a little bit more about this train.
Oh, it was
like a full-size train?
It was
like you
it was a-
installed
it
train
was-
tracks?
I mean, they had train tracks around the whole playground area, and there were 2 seats for.
You must have had kids lined up for a mile deep.
All the kids were at our tent. They absolutely loved it. And, they were fighting over who was going to get in the train. It was just so great. It was so much fun. The kids loved it. The parents loved it. And, of course, we were the most popular booth, so we were very happy about that.
That's always that's always a great feeling whenever you're at one of these community events and you pick the right thing. We've had opportunities we always had some feature component of our booth at the Old Homes Day, the Londonderry Old Homes Day. And I remember one year we did a Velcro wall, and the kids loved it. The thing we didn't know was that after the smaller kids jumped into the Velcro wall, they were too light to actually come off the Velcro wall.
Oh, my gosh.
So we had a full day-long job pulling kids off the Velcro wall.
I bet your arms were sore.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit more about the train.
The train was just great. It was like blue and red, and they had a conductor, and he rang the bell, and we all dressed up like in conductor outfits with the overalls and the little hat and everything. It was just a huge success, and it was a lot of fun. And I would only say the only one that was even close to that is we did a trunk or treat in Salem a couple of years ago, and they have like the dance group come out, and they're dancing to like Monster Mash and stuff like that. And, the agents and we got out there and we were dancing with them and the kids and the parents, and it was just really fun.
So they can be a lot of fun and very giving back to the community.
It is.
Right?
It was really great.
Having a great moment for a young family and an opportunity to get to meet them, right?
Exactly. It was
So
wonderful.
get involved in the
involved.
community, participate in the community events.
You won't regret it.
Yeah, and get involved in your hobbies, your interests. It's just a way to meet people, right?
Absolutely.
So it's an important aspect of, just one of the quadrants of way to develop your business in real estate. And the best thing about this is that, you're giving back to the community, and it comes back to you.
It always comes back.
Yeah.
Creating relationships.
That's right. So if you're an agent listening to this, what's one thing you want them to take away from this conversation?
I would say get involved, join a club, and keep talking to people.
Yeah. Meet a lot of people. And I'd just add to that, I would say start now.
Start now.
Because it's not necessarily something that's going to come back to you right away, but it will come back to you.
It will.
And if you start now, there's a multiplier effect
I agree.
over time. All right, great. Thanks. Thank you, MaryLou.
Thank you very much.